Raleigh will not have a Christmas parade this year. City leaders announced the move about 90 minutes ago.
And right now, the assistant city manager is about to address this issue. Let's listen in to what he has to say about why they're doing this.
So, Mr. Raleigh, can you tell us a little bit of background about the decision that was made today?
Yeah, well, we took a long, hard look at this. It was a difficult decision for us to make, but out of an abundance of caution for the families, for the spectators, we decided that the right decision was to not proceed with permitting the Christmas parade this year.
I know there's some legislation currently in the General Assembly that would potentially change rules for parades. What role, if any, did this pending legislation have in this decision?
Well, it was certainly factored into our conversation. We realized that legislation would have pretty significant impacts for cities the size of ours and even smaller in terms of how much oversight we'll say that we have to provide to support these parades. And so it was certainly something that was discussed as we were contemplating the decision.
What weighed in on this decision? Was this a panel or group of people who made this decision? What did it look like?
Yeah, so we had conversations with a collection of internal stakeholders. Probably chief among those our city attorney's office, but we've consulted with all of the departments that have a role in permitting special events, parades, and others. So it was very much a decision made across the organization with input in a lot of places.
Was there a fear of possible lawsuits moving forward that may have hindered or had a factor in this decision?
Well, we're aware of the pending lawsuits. Again, that was something that was discussed. I don't say that there was necessarily fear, but we're certainly awareness of them. And again, we just thought that the risks at this particular point outweighed the other considerations around it.
You mentioned in the city's release, this was also out of respect for the Brooks family. Did they request this? Did they weigh in any way regarding whether there should be a parade this year?
I myself didn't have any of those conversations. I'm not sure if any of those conversations actually took place with the families, but what we can say again is we thought that aside from the families, we wanted to make sure that whatever decision we made was in the best interest of the city as a whole, spectators, visitors, and everybody else.
And what kind of impact do you think this is going to have on downtown Raleigh, not having this parade this year?
Well, I will say, fortunately, there are still a number of holiday events that are focused in downtown that are still going to go on. And we're looking to add others if we can. So, obviously, we have our ice skating rink, which is going to happen again this year. We plan, the Christmas tree lighting, I believe, the Downtown Raleigh Alliance event is going to continue. So there are still a number of wonderful events that are going to be produced to celebrate the holiday season that folks can come downtown and enjoy.
What do you tell the family, the community, the people who have grown up watching the parade, participating in the parade? A lot of people are heartbroken by this decision. What do you say to them?
Yeah, well, certainly we knew that there would be strong feelings either way. And we did not arrive at this decision lightly. We knew that there'd be a lot of disappointment. And we understand that. We certainly, again, don't look at this as ending the Christmas parade forever. We felt for this particular event, for this particular year, that the prudent decision for us to make was to refrain from moving forward. So we'll see what comes and what happens in future years. But again, this is a decision just for this particular year.
Is there an estimated number of just how much revenue the parade generates? For the downtown area, like an economic impact?
We don't have that information. It may exist, but I don't have a number to give you now.
Gotcha. And has the city of Raleigh been in communication with the young lady who was killed's family about this decision?
No.
Any like a new event this year that you guys are looking at that might replace the parade?
Not a replacement. Again, I referenced some of the other events that are ongoing.
Okay, so we just heard right there from a city leader just kind of explaining a little bit about what went into the decision to cancel the Raleigh Christmas Parade. It was a little tough to hear, but some of the things that kind of stood out was, who made the decision, talking a little bit about having the city attorney's office involved as well as other departments, but couldn't quite hear too many specifics there. And in terms of what kind of impact this will have for the holiday season, we also heard that they plan to add additional holiday activities. They talked about the skating rink they would have out there, so certainly a little bit more going into this decision that we just learned about 90-ish minutes ago.
Right. Obviously, he said there are pending lawsuits right now that they have to be aware of. There's also legislation that's been proposed after the tragedy last year with Hailey Brooks being hit by a truck as that parade was happening and sadly dying. So there's a lot that's still in flux as a result of the tragedy that happened last year, and those issues have not been resolved. So they're hoping to see more resolution before they're able to hold another parade. Obviously, this is going to have a big impact to the businesses downtown. Thousands attend the Christmas parade in Raleigh, and that means that those businesses will feel it. We have much more coverage on the canceling of the Raleigh Christmas parade that's coming up at the top of 5 o'clock, so be sure to watch that. Now, state regulators see a need for more nursing facilities in Wake County.
Get a COVID, flu, and RSV vaccine this fall. At 5 on Your Side explains who could get these vaccines and when. These stories and more in about 15 minutes. Lena?
All right, thank you, Deborah. We want to get to some breaking news now. We're getting reaction from the family of Hailey Brooks, the dancer, the very young dancer killed in last year's Christmas parade.
Let's go to Mark Boyle in the WRAL Live Center. What are they saying, Mark?
Well, Chris, the attorney representing the family of Hailey Brooks just sent us a statement about 5 minutes ago saying the Brooks family is disappointed by this decision to cancel the parade this year. On your screen, this is part of the statement just in. It says the city did not reach out to the family before making this decision. If consulted, the Brooks family would have urged the city to proceed with the parade after implementing basic common sense safety protocols that would have been in place in 2022. So the city there obviously coming out saying that they did this out of an abundance of caution. That was one of the reasons the city said it wanted to cancel this year's parade, not agree to any permits going forward. So there won't be a parade this year, maybe next year. The mayor talking about this, you'll hear from her, as well as the assistant city manager. And the attorney representing the Brooks family here goes on to say in this statement just in, he says, the city needs to honor Hailey Brooks by enacting protections for the safety of this community, not by canceling the parade altogether. Back to you.
Very strong words there. All right, Mark.